Ever clicked a Git button in your IDE and instantly regretted it? Yeah, me too. One click and suddenly you've done way more than you intended. What's worse, it's now on the remote and you've got to manually fix it. It's messy, it's stressful, and it's completely avoidable. The command line can be intimidating, but it's way safer. And it's actually not that bad. You only need a handful of commands to do 90% of what you'll ever need in Git. If you're brand new to Git, you can think of it as a time machine for your code. It tracks changes and lets you roll back to any previous version, so that you can experiment without fear of breaking anything. This is your Git primer, a beginner-friendly command line walkthrough that puts you in control. By the end, you'll know the right way to use Git, and you'll see me roll back a mistake on purpose, just to prove how safe it can be when you do it right. To get us started, I'm going to pull in the tic-tac-toe game that we wrote as part of the Beginners Python series. We do this by cloning, so I'm going to go into GitHub, I'm going to click this little green button on code, and it gives me the option to copy the URL. We then just type git clone and then paste in the URL. And that's it. Now I've got a full local copy of the tic-tac-toe code that we can start to work with. Git tracks your code files in 3 main states. Once this clicks, everything is so easy. The first state is untracked. These are files that Git hasn't seen before. Let's make one. Okay, files created, let's run git status, and you'll see that notes.txt is untracked. This means that it's not in version control. If I delete it, Git doesn't care. So let's delete it, and then let's check the status again, and it's gone. No history, no trace. The next state is modified. These are stored in the working directory, and if we edit an existing file, so let me go into board, and we'll just add a comment to this reset command. Run git status again, and we can see that the file is now tracked as modified. In this state, you can either roll a file back, or you can stage it. Staging it gets it ready to commit. The next status is staged, and to get there we just have to add our files to Git. To do this we use the add command, so git add board.py, and tab is your friend in git bash. Okay, it's added, let's do git status, and now we can see that it's staged. This means it's ready to commit. It's not in history yet. Now let's say we made a mistake and we didn't want to include board in this commit. We can unstage it. And Git actually gives us a hint of how to do this right here. So we'll just do git restore -- staged and then the file name, which in this case is board.py. If we check the status again, you can see it's back to modified. Now let's say we didn't add a comment to this file, but we actually made a code change and it broke something. I now want to bring that file back to its original state. How do we do that? Very, very simple. We just check the file out again. So git checkout tic-tac-toe board.py. So this is actually really powerful. In just 2 commands, we've completely eradicated the change that broke our code. Now with Git, you should never commit state to your either main or master branch. And that's because main should stay as per production. You can think of the main branch as the main train line between 2 big cities. It's always running, always on schedule, people rely on it. A branch is like a siding. You can pull a train over there, work on it, repaint it, add new carriages, all without delaying or disrupting the main service. If you start tinkering right on the main line, you're blocking traffic, delaying everything behind you and risking a crash. That's why we branch off, we do our work safely, and then we merge back once everything's ready for passengers. So how do we create another branch or one of these sidings? It's very, very easy. We just do git checkout -b, and then we give it a name. In this case, I'm going to call it docs. And that's because in this commit, all I'm going to do is add documentation. And now I can just mess around in this branch and main stays completely clean. When I'm ready, I can merge it back to main in order to put it into production. And let's start that process now. We're going to run git diff, and that will show us all the changes we've made. If I do git diff -- stat, it will just simply list the files I've changed with an indication of the number of lines we've added deleted. First thing we need to do is stage the file, so git add and board.py, and now that it's staged we can commit it. I'm going to do git space commit because I like to put my commit messages using vi. You can actually do this by putting git commit -m and then in quotes what your commit message is going to be. And then we're going to run git log, which keeps a paper trail of every commit. The commit is only kept on my local system. It's not backed up anywhere. To back it up back to GitHub, we just need to do git push, and that will push our branch onto the server itself. Once it's on the server, anyone can pull that branch and start working on it. To do that, first they do git fetch, and that will bring down Git's information on all the branches that are on the server and store it locally. You can then do git checkout and the branch name. And this will then put you in that branch ready to make modifications that you can then contribute to and push back to the server. It is important to keep your branch as up to date as possible with main. If you do it all at the end, it's going to take you forever to retrofit all the changes and fix all the merge issues. To do this, we check out the main branch, so git checkout main, and then we're going to do git pull. This will pull the latest version from the server to our local. I'm working solo on this at the moment, so it says already up to date. If it wasn't already up to date, it would pull all the changes in and let you know how many changes it would make. And then what you would do is check out your branch, so git checkout docs, and then you would do git merge main. In many cases, this will merge the changes from the server to your branch. If there are conflicts between your branch and main that Git can't automatically resolve, you'll have to fix them manually in the files. Then you would just simply commit those changes and your merge would be complete. If you decide you don't have time for this right now, you can abort the merge with git merge -- abort. This will abort the merge and put all your files back to their original state. Do remember to push your merged branch back to the server so that everyone can benefit from it. Once your branch has gone through QA, everyone's happy, it's ready for production, then you're going to merge it back to main. To do this, we do git checkout main and then git merge docs. And if all that works successfully, we can now do git push and you'll see our changes on the Git server. That's basically all I do with Git day to day. Obviously, there are way more commands than this. Some of them are a little bit dangerous. I'm not going to cover them in this basic primer. So now you've got a clean, safe Git workflow and you know how to undo mistakes before they become disasters. But what if you want to reuse someone else's code from GitHub in your own projects? In the next video, I'll show you how to use pip to install Python packages directly from Git. This will give your project a serious head start. Click the video top left right now and I'll meet you there.